Hello and welcome to UniVerse Touch. This is our weekly show of the UniVerse of Aelia Kos, the private club. And here, week after week, at the same time, we are shaping a whole new narrative in the world. And this is a narrative where you can be both spiritual and wealthy, care for the world deeply, and also create an extraordinary life for yourself. So, welcome. In the last episode, we talked about money moves and how each one of us, according to the stream of consciousness that we have onboarded on, so if you're an employee or an employer or an investor, etc., how do you usually move with money and how do you believe that money will move with you? In this episode, we will move into another subject that is related but somehow different. Because in the last episode, we were seeing about the archetypes of people and how they behave with money. And in this one, we will be talking about something that is not so discussed. And this is how, when we use wealth for causes and for industries and for reasons that we believe in, how it doubles the amount of power and influence that it has both in what we are supporting, but also in our own life. So, how the energetics actually match our decision when the decision is relevant to who we are supposed to support, and how that creates a completely different ripple effect in multiple areas of our life. So, one of the very interesting facts about money is that most of us believe, and you can test that everybody else is using money the way that we do. And this is not true. Everybody's using money in a completely different way, which is quite mind blowing, realizing that we talk so little, we have so little conversations about how actually another person is using and operating with money. This is extremely interesting. Everybody's using them completely differently. That happens for many things in life. Like I think everybody's also brushing their teeth in a completely different way. It's exactly the same thing. It's a very personal thing that we actually never know how the other person is exactly doing it. But we assume that everybody's doing it the same way. And today we will go into an exploration to realize that according to the chakra that needs more support in your system, you might be using money in a very different way. And you might also want to use that gateway, that portal, to be able to facilitate wealth for good in your own very, very own unique blueprint. So I came around this realization from personal experience that happened around 5 years ago. We were hosting a spiritual conference for the World Economic Forum in Davos in Switzerland, and we were searching for funding for sponsorship. And one sponsor does come in. He delivers the entire package that we needed for this conference to happen. So he funds the entire project, and we run the conference. And in the end of the conference, he didn't even got the chance to have a slot to speak. For the ones who don't know, usually in these conferences, sponsors sponsor to be able to have the visibility and be on stage talking about their projects, their funding opportunities, the vehicles, etc., and whatever they're creating. In this particular case, the person who funded the entire conference that had over 50 speakers, more than 300 people per day, it was quite of a big influx of people passing by, didn't have the chance to present at all. And I had a conversation with him after, and I was like, hi, I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to expose the person. How do you feel about not being given the chance to present? And he was so relaxed about it. And he had such a different way of operating that it really got me thinking. My whole concepts about money start changing since this moment. So he told me, like, Aelia, this conference needed to happen. We all know that. It was a divine calling. You were all there because of higher reasons. That was clear. I was able to support it. It doesn't matter that I didn't get the slot because I know that money will come from a completely different way inside my system. And that really shocked me back then, because back then I was operating very much inside the archetype of the founder, the entrepreneur. So it was obvious that an investor will need a type of an ROI, direct ROI. And this approach was literally like a light bulb in my brain saying, okay, there's people who are thinking about money completely differently, and I'd love to explore the different ways. So let me take you into this journey today. And as you're hearing the journey, seeing which category you might or categories you might be falling into, because then you can go deeper and research and explore how you can extrapolate that into a very unique model, or how you will understand better where you have been deriving from your full alignment. So we have 7 chakras, and these are 7 energy centers that run across our central system. And each one of them is indicating a different energy, different power, a different influence on our lives. What I have realized is that according to which chakra needs more support in our system, so not which one is the strongest usually, but which one needs more support, we might be operating, it's very common actually to be operating with money through this lack, through this gateway that needs support, through this field that needs enforcement. So the first chakra is based in the base of our spine. It is all about security. So if you have been catching yourself talking about money as a way of creating security, you know that you're operating through this portal. The second chakra, which is below our navel, it is about pleasure. So if money, having money, spending money is mostly about pleasure in your life, you know that you're operating through this portal. Let me make a comment here. There is no wrong or right. There's just an observation from which field, which portal we are operating through. And then we will see how we can adapt that to create a very unique model for ourselves. The third chakra is the power chakra. So if you have been using money as a mean to power, or if money for you means power, you know that you are looking the world through this portal. The fourth chakra is all about love, is the heart chakra. So if giving, receiving money for you means a way of being loved, you're operating in the world through this chakra. The fifth chakra is the throat chakra, and it's all about expression. So if money for you is your expression to the world, then you know that you are right here. Sixth chakra, the third eye. The third eye is all about vision. So if money for you means that you're able to execute a vision, you're operating through this chakra. And the seventh one, which is the final one, is the interconnectedness with everything in the world. So if you have been using money as this means of getting connected or feeling connected, or if money reinforces your belief about interconnectedness, or if you use it to allow other people to get into the state, then you know you're operating through the seventh chakra. Why am I taking you through this journey? It is because over the last almost 2 years, we have been exploring time after time each one of these chakras in relation to money, and what is the pushback? So what is the expansion of that? So what happens when this is in expansion, and what happens when this is blocked? So for context, back in August 2023, I received the calling to start an experience on the Swiss Alps and to gather entrepreneurs and investors to be able to be in a field that creates a completely different baseline of trust. And even though it is meant for business results, we don't talk business. It's a very unconventional framework, and we were testing it back then. When I started receiving the message was like, every experience will be a study on the 7 chakras and how we operate through these chakras in the money world, so in relation to money. What happened after really blew my mind, because every time I was opening the call to the next experience, the first, the second, the third, etc., etc., the exact same day I started sending invitations, I was receiving the exact same pushback, super strong, back into my system. In the first one, I was shocked. I was really shocked because the first one was really massive. We are talking about security, and we are talking about the sense of home in the first chakra. So when we opened the first call for the first experience, the entire mountain, where we were supposed to host the event about a month later, got into wildfires, and they had to evacuate the whole place. So imagine, sense that I am sending invitations to a beautiful natural place on the Swiss Alps, and this exact place, the day I start sending invitations, it is burning like hell. And it continued burning for almost 2 weeks. We actually didn't even know if the venue will still be there. It was so close. Then it was all amazing in the end. And the event was one of the most incredible experience for everybody who was involved. But I was like, whoa, what happened? Then when we opened the second one, which is the pleasure chakra, then I got it's also the life energy chakra, right? Like it's the sexual energy, it's the life energy. That exact day where I opened the calls for the second experience, my little baby niece that is like 3 days old practically, she's going into an operation that we don't know if she's going to wake up from. And I am praying and giving prayers and offerings to death, and at the same time I'm opening the call for more life. And this experience kept going in every single time we were opening the call to our experiences. The interesting part is, like in the first one, when I received this huge pushback, I was like, is that a sign? Am I supposed to stop? But then, because it was very clear, my intuition, that like one thing was one thing, another thing is another thing, you continue no matter what's happening. I realized that it was actually the pushback because we were triggering the field. And when we start creating a new narrative, when we establish new systems, when we establish new ways of being, as we're doing in the universe of Aelia Kos, we will get the pushback from the existing. It's not that the one is better than the other. It's just, and the new one is triggering the old one. And that will create resistance. And this is the pushback that oftentimes, we sense when we're going against something that is already established. Little that I have to explain to you, the third chakra, this is the power chakra, was all about ego games. So I got a direct attack from somebody who's supposed to be in the shaman the day I was opening the third experience. In the fourth chakra is all about love. So it was directly triggering me and testing me. If this is what I'm supposed to do, no matter what, is that what I love doing? Is that how I want to operate? And we keep going and going and going. The interesting part about this study is that I realized that each one of us is supposed to understand where is the best to operate from. So where is your blockage that you might be operating through, and where is your strength that you would like to operate from. Because the two ways of operating will be very different. The way that you will use money will be completely different. And there is no actually one way, you just have to find yours. So, what I have seen is that when people or businesses start matching the way they use resources or even the way they give back to the world with their strength or with what do they really, really believe, which are usually very related, there's an entirely different power that comes in. And you send one thing out and a tenfold comes to your life. And this is quite extraordinary, and we don't actually exactly know how it works. We just have seen it working again and again. You trigger one aspect, tenfold comes. You give in one direction, tenfold comes in another direction. It has been a law of many, many yogis and many spiritually driven individuals for a very long time. So you will see almost everybody who is wealthy or ultra wealthy giving back a lot, giving back in high amounts. And this is not only for tax exemption, which is also the case. This is also because they have realized that there is a law operating. It's like as much as you give, you will receive even more. So there are logical ways of money, and there's energetic ways of money. And there are also spiritual ways of money. So today in the Wealth for Good, we're going in the spiritual ways of money, particularly. So what I would like to empower you today is to actually observe and say, let me check what is really important for me. What is really important for me, for example, and what I believe would have changed my life if I had it when I was younger, is access to networks and people and conversations that are a completely different level. So what we are creating in the universe of Aelia Kos is literally what I believe would have extrapolated me into a 10 years faster growth when I was in my 20s, if that existed. And we are creating because I believe that that's the future. Like the future is holding a code about very selected, very specific circles where people come in with a high alignment and they're supposed to decode altogether something about the future and apply it in their lives for the betterment of their lives and for the betterment of the world. And the more these fields are also related not only with spirituality but also with material resources, the more we will start saying what we know to be true about business being reinvented and re-examined and reestablished. So in the universe of Aelia Kos, I believe that the conversations that are held, not I believe, I have seen that the conversations that are held during our experiences are conversations that collapse time and extrapolate you in a whole different level of awareness, as we were speaking in the last episode. So they can really move you from an employee to a self-employed, from self-employed to business owner, from business owner to investor. Just like that, just over a conversation with somebody else who's doing it, just over a connection, deep connection with the narrative that somebody else is embodying. There's nothing more that is needed. It's so instantaneous. So imagine so when I was imagining what would be the best way for us to give back to the world, I realized that it is exactly that. Meaning, we have to give back our highest value. So I have decided to create a 10% give back, which is the sacred number that all the mystics are using, to be able to give access to somebody who does have the alignment, who does have the vision, does have the power, but for some reason in this particular moment in time, they don't have the resources and the accessibility to be in such circles. And we will give to one person per event the capacity to be in our events. And this is, for us, the most aligned way to give back, because that's exactly what I believe is our highest value. If I had that when I was 20, we will be having this conversation 10 years earlier. But because that didn't exist, because I was not given access and I had to gain all access to all spaces, time after time after time and effort, we are having this conversation only now. So we are about to accelerate that, and we're about to accelerate it for people who might not even believe themselves that they could enter these conversations. It does need to be the right person. We're going to be selecting the right person, because that's super important, because who you are and your capacity as a person will make the whole difference. It's going to be a waste of time and resources. It's going to be the best investment in the future of somebody and his whole network. So if you know somebody who embodies these qualities, that you can see that this human being is made for big things, and that he's open and receiving, and he will be able to absorb and really transform during our experiences, please connect me with him or with her. It can be through LinkedIn. You can find me as Aelia Kos, or you can write me a comment here and connect with you. You can email me, anything that you want, and present me this incredible human being. And this is just our way of giving back. The thing is, if I have chosen a way of giving back that is, let's say, plant 100 trees, which is amazing as a give back way, right? Like, don't take me wrong, but it has nothing to do with our business. It has nothing to do with our purpose. It has nothing to do with the narrative we are creating in the world. So it will be misaligned. What the impact we are creating is exactly about people being able to skyrocket into a whole new narrative and empowering them with the tools and the connections to be able to bring that to life. So it makes absolute sense that our give back will be connected to that, so that we will be using our resources in relation to what we actually truly believe and bring to the world. So there is nothing wrong. It's actually beautiful to be planting trees. But can you see that is off purpose for ourselves, for this initiative? So it's slightly different when you are giving back or when you're supporting an industry or a field for yourself as an individual. So personally, I care deeply about nature. So deeply, I have created a whole methodology about the 4 elements of nature and how these apply into human well-being and into the business well-being. So personally, it would make absolute sense to support an initiative that's protecting the environment. But this is different. So it depends if the resources they would like to use are corporate resources, so they're initiated from your business, they're generated from your business, or if they're personal resources. In the personal resources, oftentimes you have a whole different bandwidth, because you might care about several causes. So I care a lot about women empowerment. I care a lot about nature preservation. I care a lot about new ideas and how the youth and the people who are the brightest can be supported and move to a whole different level of interconnectedness and human awareness. So progressing of human consciousness. So I care about all of these fields. So if I am to personally give away or give back or give first, however you want to, or give before, whatever you want to call it, I might choose all initiatives in all of these aspects that I care deeply about. But when we're talking about the business, I highly recommend that you actually look into where your business is focused on and give back on that aspect. Because you're just reinforcing that who you are and what you believe, you're also backing it up with your wealth. And this energetically gives a double confirmation in the universe that that's what we stand for. And we back it up not only with our words, not only with our belief and our energy, but also with our money. Here it is. So, this exact same principle applies also when we're talking about expenses. So, how do we use our money? So, you can go and check your expenses, your monthly expenses, and you will see exactly the blueprint of who you are. Where are you spending your money? Are you spending them in experiences? Are you spending them in goods? Are you spending it in other people? Are you spending it for yourself? Are you spending it for your business? Are you spending it investing in other? Where do you spend your money? It is the most money, it's impressive because the most clear evidence of who you actually truly are and what you truly believe. Because doing a payment means taking action. And this action means that there's a belief behind that might be coming from all types of aspects, but we're not going to go into that today. But there's a belief that you took action upon. And beliefs that you took action upon are the strongest evidence of who you are. Because we might believe a lot of things, but if we don't act about them, we haven't embodied them yet. A belief that you pay for, it's your embodiment. Sometimes this can be uncomfortable when we see that our embodiment is not who we would like to be. Many times there's a gap between who we believe we are and when we see our actions, you're like, ooh, that's not who I believe I am because my actions show something different. And the more we bring these two together and they're in absolute alignment, first of all, the power of that is unimaginable. But second, you start realizing that you start changing the ways you use your wealth, you start changing your priorities, and that reflects on your balance sheet, reflects on your expense statement. So, wealth for good. A subject that I love exploring because it has been very interestingly categorized in this is only for philanthropists. And it is, how can I say, it is an action, it's something that it's taken from you because you don't have a direct return. But the thing is, if you do it for the right reasons and if you do it for causes that you care about, it comes back from a completely different loop. It doesn't come from the same initiative, maybe it is, but maybe not. But it comes from a whole different loop. That is the interconnectedness of everything. And it is you believing in something and backing it up with actions and money. And the energy of that is indescribable. It's like just over the roof. So I am very curious to see how you have been using your wealth. And if you have new insights from what you heard today, please comment on me, email me, text me, however you want to reach out. I really, really love receiving your comments. They expand my awareness. They expand the way I can express all of these concepts to all of you so it lands better. They made me understand the different facets and angles of human experience. I have a journey when you send me your insights. I love, love, love it. So please don't hesitate doing that. if you have had an aha moment, if something is coming to your mind, if you feel that you want to communicate something with me, please do so. The best way is in the comments under this video, so other people can also see it, because many times one comment can trigger a realization to somebody else, that will trigger a realization to somebody else, and it's a chain of expanded awareness. But if it's something very personal, please feel free to send it to me over a DM on social media as Aelia Kos. The last but not least, the last thing I want to talk to you about is how I have seen these concepts we have been talking this month working during our experiences. So our experiences happen quarterly, and they happen in different locations around the world that are very carefully selected. It's exactly the same with the participants. And we do that because I have realized that when you have a particular streamlined energetic alignment between the participants of an experience, and you place them in a place that resonates deeply for deep reasons, that these are locations or properties, there is a magic that happens. There's a whole different level of power that comes into place, because the humans are actually connecting to the earth. And this connection is the strongest we can have. And then we together create the collective intelligence field that is practically one that is able to connect to more data. So you're connecting to the sky. So you have all of these interconnections coming together. And when that happens, together with a very few basic, but very, very important and kind of difficult to apply rules and agreements we are creating during the experience, which is to be fully present, to be fully yourself. That's the only two. When these elements come together, we all drop into a state that's extremely interesting state. It's a state of deep pleasure. But it's not a sexual pleasure, it's a pleasure of fulfillment. It is the state that you feel that everything is in place, you're at the right time, with the right people, saying the exact right things, and it's fully you connected to the universe. When this happens, which usually happens around the 24 hours in our experience, it happens real fast. Resources tend to manifest in all types of ways. We had people going viral while they are in our experience without their phones, without posting. You tell me how that can happen, right? We had people coming straight and giving us money, like literally walking towards us and offering us cash. We had the experience of people getting pregnant, which is very recent. So human beings deciding to reincarnate because they feel that that's a beautiful place to be because of the collective field. We had people who are already leading global initiatives getting the breakthrough they have been searching for years and deciding to do it together with other people from the group. And all of this happens because when we are in this deep state of interconnectedness and pleasure, money is not something outside of us. It is just part of our reality. So we integrate that. So it tends to flow so much more effortlessly, as if it was magic. So when I love saying that what I do is connect you to the magic of the universe, that's exactly what I mean. It is a state where there is no separation. There is no me and others. There is no XYZ and the other comes together. And when that happens, literally magic, or what looks like magic, manifests in the 3D plane, in the material world. So in the UniVerse of Aelia Kos, our private club, this is what we are bringing to the world. It's a completely new narrative of how to do business. And we are documenting it documenting it as it happens. So it happens, we observe it, we document it. And soon enough, we will have enough proof to establish a completely different way of doing business and generating wealth. And it is already happening. I will not tell you more because you need to be there and you need to experience for yourself. So if you're ready, please apply to join our next experience. You can find me, DM me, check my social media. There's a lot of posts that express more about the events. If you have more questions, just ask me for the link. I'll direct you to the link. There is a short application process, and then there is a personal call with myself to confirm that this is the right space for you, that you're ready for it, and that that's going to be your next stage of evolution, because that's very important. And then you're going to be ready to onboard in one of the biggest experiences of your life and adventures. Many times, for many of our participants, our experience have been before and after. So before a UniVerse experience and after a UniVerse experience is like completely different life. So if you're ready for that, please connect with me. I'll send you the link. This is going to happen in May. It's going to happen in Greece, again, in a property that I deeply, deeply love because it's a small world. It's not a property. It's a mini world. Mini, not so mini, but it's a small world. And it gives us the full preview of what a better future could be. So we are envisioning it, but we're also living it, manifesting it, and also bringing it to the next stage as this property is moving towards finding the next owner and creating a whole different vision, a whole next level vision in this space in Greece. So if you're interested for that, also let me know. There is a wonderful capture of the essence of the new owner that has come from one of our previous participants. And the moment I send you that, you will know 100% if that's for you, if that's a place. Then the second step will be to come and be part of our experience so you can actually establish the connection with the land and completely understand. So get the you are the one confirmation that happens during our experiences, and then we will move you and support you into the more hands-on aspects about building permissions, how to do a sale, how to connect with the owners, what kind of business models you can apply, and all the rest. There's infinite possibilities, literally. We have already extremely interesting parts ready to be placed in place for the next owner because these are big projects. So if that's of your interest, please text me. I'm interested about the property in Greece. Send me more information and I will guide you forward. If you're interested into coming into our experience, please text me. I'm interested about the next experience in Greece. The experiences for now are the only way into our club. So for now, we don't, and for the rest of 2025, we don't accept online only applications. We always invite you to come into one of our experiences that happen quarterly. And after the experience, if you are confirmed, you will get an invitation, a personal invitation to become one of our members. So we are very selective because we really want a very particular energy in this first year of our club. And then from the second year, we might start having a more streamlined and more online application process. But for now, this is the only way to come into the universe of Aelia Kos. So if you're ready for that, text me, check the next experiences, check which one fits with your schedule, come in, come ready, be ready to completely change the way you see the world and the way your life behaves to you. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. The realizations about how wealth for good can be used differently. And in the next episode, which will be next Thursday, same time, 7 p.m. CT, Central European Time, we will be moving into another 4 episodes package, which I call baseline. And baseline comes as a counterpart of the bottom line. So practically, the baseline is like what you're left with when everything has been deducted from your field. It's exactly as the bottom line is what you are left with when all expenses on all taxes and everything has been deducted from your revenue. So baseline has 4 different aspects, and each week we will go into one of these aspects. The first one is our body, second is our mind, third is our spirit, fourth is our emotions. So these 4 aspects and how do we deal with them are the foundation for pretty much anything. Because wealth and money, life situations, relationships, businesses go up and down. And that's the rule of life. But who you are is actually what will keep you safe and protected in the down and keep you robust and expansive in the ups. So the baseline needs to be established no matter what. It cannot be that your baseline is changing if an external situation is changing, because that will take you completely off your center. And over the course of my life, I have realized that there is so many myths about how our body works, how our mind works, how our spirit operates, and how our emotions, or what even are our emotions. And I really cannot keep hearing about that without sharing with you what I have come to realize, because they're very different. They're very easy to capture and actually quite easy to implement. But the power of them is just next level. Because we are living in a world that we are overcomplicating everything, and we have forgotten the basics, the essential, and the simplicity that will allow us to keep applying that for years. And that creates a stable baseline. So in the next episode, next Thursday, I will take you through the baseline of the body. And that has been one I love so deeply because my body is so healthy. I never get sick. I literally was trying to remember the last time I was sick, and I couldn't. It's been years. I have found a way to create a relationship with my body, both in terms of a diet and food, sleep, exercise, that keeps me in the absolute best shape I have been until now. I'm in even better shape than I was when I was 20. It supports my mind. I never get sick. It supports my life. And it is simple to apply. And it is effortless. So I'd love to take you down this route, because I just cannot continue with the complication about everything, because this is mostly marketing. And this is because somebody wants to sell you something. And there is nothing wrong about buying the right products and services for you. But you need to understand what is the best for you first, and not believe that an external solution will substitute what you haven't learned about you. So be with me live or watch the replay. I will be announcing both here. So if you haven't subscribed here, please subscribe and click the notify, because then you receive all the information about the next episodes directly in your inbox, and also as a notification on the app. So it's easier to remember that, oh, it's going live, let me catch that live, or to bookmark it and say, let me watch that later. Every time I watch that, I get great insights. Let me do that. Also, please, if you love what we're doing here, please share it with others. Because the more people hear about what I have to say, and that's what the instruction when I started the show. So start it in a platform where more people that you don't know directly can listen to these words and can also interact with them. So comment, share, tag, notify, subscribe, because that will start creating a momentum into a collective understanding of the concepts I'm talking to you about. And we are entering this age of the collective awareness coming together and creating a completely different fusion of what one person can perceive. So this show is created for that. So please come with me on that. Share, comment, tag, because that will create the ripple effect that this show is supposed to generate. If you have been following me since the beginning, you might realize that I am sharing some of the deepest realizations I ever had about all aspects of life and business in this show. So it's not because it's free that it doesn't have value, it's quite actually the opposite. So enjoy it, go back, watch it again, review, rewind, take notes, and share it with me and with others. That will create a completely different narrative, the one we're establishing in the universe of Aelia Kos. Let's do that. It's time. We're here. You're the perfect person. I'm the perfect person. We're doing it. Believe in it. See it, sense it, taste it. Come to the spaces that are creating it hands-on. Be part, purchase, continue. Do it. Do it. Do it. Pick it up. It's here. It's already here. If we're talking about it, it's already here. It's just about us embodying it and more of us embodying it. Thank you so much for being here. It has been an absolute pleasure to open this subject with you. Looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. And for anything else, connect with me on LinkedIn as Aelia Kos. Thank you.